So commercial sexual exploitation of children is something that is still there. For both boys and girls, they are all engaging in commercial sex through various forms. The most common forms that are common in these areas are transactional sex, so children engaging in commercial sex. Sometimes they get money as little as 100 Kenyan shillings up to 2,000, 3,000, it depends. And then we have the aspect of child sex tourism, so both local and international tourists engaging in commercial sex with children to give them money or any other benefits. And then there are other forms like child prostitution, where children are engaged in production or just consumption of pornographic materials in order to gain something. There are so many push factors that push children to engage in commercial sex, and one of them I would say is poverty, because the counties where we're operating in, we both have the urban areas and the rural areas. Like in Kwale County, according to statistics, about 70% of the people around this county live below the poverty line. Sometimes other push factors are developments that are occurring around. I think everyone would agree with me that sectors like tourism have really grown and developed. So we have so many people in the country from outside coming to see the very beautiful areas that we have. And not everyone that comes around this area is maybe a good person, or rather some of them would want to exploit children. Another factor I would say is peer pressure, because some of the beneficiaries that we work with, some of them say that they were pushed into CSEC by interacting with their colleagues, with their friends. So some of them find themselves engaging in sexual activities in order to get some money to be able to take care of their siblings. And some of them know that it is wrong, but because of the current situation that they are in, some of them see it as the only option that they have. Others don't really understand that it's an abuse of their rights. And creating awareness, we are working with various actors. So we are working with children, we are working with their families and communities, we are working with actors like private sectors. So we are trying to engage also the private sectors to create awareness so that they know if a child, for example, comes to a hotel with an older person, that is already exploitation, so they shouldn't allow that. So we want them to develop a code of conduct. Other people we're working with closely, of course, it's the government. They're the major duty bearers in the country. So we are trying to engage them to be able to at least have plans of actions to be able to respond to the issue of CSEC. So we've been working with law enforcers, and we plan to continue working with them to be able to support us to prosecute cases. Because if we are protecting children and the perpetrators are not, nothing is being done, so that means we'll take this child out of the exploitative situation, but the perpetrator will be out there. But we also have a very important component in the project, that's the service provision. So we are providing various services through our implementing partners, and we have education support for children. So the children who are in the project, so first of all, we are working with two groups of children. One is the group of children who are victims, or rather some are survivors of commercial sexual exploitation, and we have children who are at risk. So we try and engage them through various activities, like in school clubs, and for the service provision component, which I mentioned, education. So we bring them back to school if they had dropped out. And then we have the component of psychosocial support. So we have two full-time project counselors who offer psychosocial support through counseling, trauma counseling for these children. And another component that we have is a medical component, where we support the victims who we bring into the project to get medical screening. Okay, so as part of the interventions that we have in the project is to provide economic strengthening for the families. Whole idea here is to have them participate in income generating activities so that they can be able to provide for the children, so that the children don't end up engaging in CSEC to be able to provide. A child realizes that it's not the end of the road. There's at least hope. There are people who care about me. Most of the children who we have in the project have found confidence in the counselors, so they are able to reveal whatever it's in that has been disturbing them. And then there's the happiness that you see even in their faces from the interactions that we're having with them. It's a slow process, but at least there is willingness they are very willing to stop. Most of them would say, it's not something I like doing, so I'm willing. If I get someone who will talk to me, help me, psychologically support me, and be able to at least support my family, I am willing to change. First of all, we want the children to be agents of change. So the children who you're interacting with, both in school and out of school, once they are informed about CSEC, about how to report, how to respond when someone wants to engage them in commercial sexual exploitation, so they can be able to stand up for their rights, report, and even support the other children to be able to get out of the exploitative situations that they are in.